So you don't have like a girlfriend or
No,
wife?
I'm single and stuff like that. So if you know anybody single, just let me know.
You should add that on there. Are you recording?
I can cut that out.
No, I'm saying you should leave it. Our friend here is single. Anyone hit him up. He is a nice person. He has a great personality. And he loves to travel. Come on, ladies. Look at
You can't go wrong.
it.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Art to the J podcast. And if you guys haven't yet, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. It sure helps the channel grow. So today we have a special guest. We have Emily today. So how you doing today, Emily?
I am doing great. It has been a beautiful day. We actually got some rain, and I love the rain.
Yes,
so
we needed some rain because it's been a minute.
it really has been a hot minute.
But it wasn't like last year. Last year was too much. No, it was earlier this year. It was too much water or too much rain.
It definitely was. Yeah. A little too much.
Yeah.
It kind of gave us a scare.
Yeah, yesterday. Oh, no, not yesterday. But last year we had that drought. That's what was bad.
You never know. We're in Southeast Texas, so you can get a drought, you can get a hurricane, you can get a flooding. You never really know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Well, Emily, I'm very glad you were able to come today. You know what I mean? We reached out to you on Facebook. That's how I kind of get like my guests or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, Iris was the one who recommended me to you. So I was like, okay.
Iris.
So yeah, she was really great. I like her personality and stuff.
Yes.
Very.
She's amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
No, thank you for coming. So like, I always like to ask the guest, who is the guest? You know what I mean? So who is Emily?
So Emily is a female who was born and raised here in Southeast Texas. I was actually born in Beaumont. I've been here my whole life. Thank God I've actually had the opportunity to travel a little bit, but the majority of my life has been spent here.
Yeah.
Like we
where
were talking.
have you traveled?
Oh, traveled? So I have traveled to, of course, Mexico. I've traveled to Spain. I've traveled to Hawaii. I've traveled to Colorado, San Diego, California.
Yeah.
Quite a few places, honestly.
Okay. So I'm guessing
Loved it.
you say Mexico, so I'm guessing your family is Mexican?
Yes.
Okay.
So my mom is from San Luis, and my dad is from La Capital, El DF.
The capital de Mexico City? Yes. Okay. Got it. Okay. I'm from El Salvador, so I call it. And I was
cool.
actually from over there, so when I came here, we went to San Francisco first.
Really?
Yeah. So
Sounds really cool.
yeah, so I've been around places, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
actually love Birmingham, so a lot of people probably hear me say about Birmingham. Yeah.
So how long have you been here in this area, like the Triangle, Golden Triangle?
Man, we moved here, I think, when I was 13 or 14.
Okay.
So far now, like 30 years now.
30 years. Wow, you look young. You look great.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse sometimes, but a lot of people don't think that they don't believe I'm like 43 years old, but I am, you know?
I would have not guessed it. You look great.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I always take the compliments, you know?
Yeah.
So, how you started, you know, I know you work at Telemundo with Jackie and stuff like that, but how did you start there and why did you start working at Telemundo?
So, funny thing, actually, it was thanks to Iris. So, Iris recommended me for a sales position at Telemundo. And at first, I was still working on my master's, which, by the way, I now have my master's in marketing, my MBA in marketing. And so during that time, I was going to school. I was working with the city of Beaumont, and I believe I was still working with Workforce as well. But she reached out to me and she was like, hey, Telemundo's looking for a salesperson. Would you be interested? Well, she didn't say salesperson. She said they were looking to hire. And so, you know, I went up on the lead. I followed up. I interviewed. And when I found out it was a sales position, I said, well, let me keep going. Let me see how it goes. And I was actually offered the job, but something told me, I don't know if I want to be a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
And the fact was that they told me someone else was applying for the job. And so in my head, I thought, well, if they're applying for it, they may, you know, really want to work their job. They may really have experience in this field. So let me go ahead and back out. So I backed out. Fast forward to a couple of months later, I'm still in contact with Karen, who is the current market manager for our area. And she was like, hey, Emily, I remember you said you did not want to, be a salesperson. But I also remember how you said you'd love to be in front of the camera one day. And I told her, yes, of course.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is que, ya sabes, cuando no hablas el español, se te olvida poco a veces.
Trust me, that's what happened to me right now. So I'm just struggling. Sometimes when I have guests who are just mainly speak Spanish, so I was like, I still want you, so I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna try,
I know, and it's como que te sale el Spanglish because unas palabras en español, then the other ones in English. Sometimes you don't even remember how to say it in either language.
Exactly.
You're like, But so point being, that's how it started. And I remember that night when she called me, she said, hey, we're going to have you audition. And I was super nervous because, I'm not a no sabo, but at the same time, you could hear my no sabo accent because I could understand it and I could speak it, I could read it, but whenever I spoke it, it was like, ooh, it's kind of rough.
People could tell, especially, and people, Spanish people would like calling you out on that. Oh, you don't know how to speak Spanish that good. Oh, que pobrecito, pobrecita.
No, there's no sabo. And so, yes. And you know how in Hispanic families, your family members are basically your biggest supporters, but your biggest bullies.
Yeah.
Not bullies in a bad way, but bullies as in, just laughing at you.
Yeah.
To make you kind of have that hard shell, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got off the phone and I told my mom and my sister, they were both thinking, how are you going to do that? How are you going to come out in front of the camera speaking Spanish? And I'm like, I don't know. Things happen for a reason, though. Like, let's see how it goes. And so that same night, we were there for like about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Me practicing Spanish, them making fun of me. And I'm like, I give up. Like, I can't do this. And honestly, I think that was about a year ago now.
Oh, really?
About a year ago. And it's crazy to think that a year has flown by so fast.
Yeah. I think what helped me a lot, getting my Spanish somewhat better, is when I started working back at Casa Ole. So if it's a lot of the people work there, like strictly just know just Spanish pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to learn more Spanish in there, talking, and because I still have an issue,
Yeah.
Because my mom says I have an issue with my tongue and whatever. So
With
that was causing, yeah. Oh, definitely that kills me. And my name starts with an R too.
No,
so,
no, it does, huh? Yeah.
But I think that I kind of could fake the R sound, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do it right now, but
Give us a shot.
No.
Fake the R sound. Let's hear it. There you go.
So I call it, yeah. So I got a little better, you know what I mean?
That's good.
And even learning a whole bunch of new words that I never heard before, you know what I mean? Or even never think about saying it, you know?
Yes, I feel that on so many levels because, it's something different to practice it with friends or family members y que se te salga una palabra equivocada, like a wrong word, right? I don't even know if I said that right. But it comes out sounding wrong. They're going to bully you, they're going to make fun of you, but it's different when you're in front of the camera. You got hundreds of eyes looking at you, and bless his heart, Edgar, our videographer, el esposo de Jackie, I told him since day one, you're going to have patience with me. I'm going to try my best. Just please don't leave me in the middle of a recording.
Yeah, I know.
And he's been amazing because él también ha notado how I've changed from the beginning to where I'm at right now. And it's just like, I'm very thankful that they've all had patience with me because I told him I am all for constructive criticism.
Yeah.
If you see me standing the wrong way or if you see me saying a word the wrong way, tell me.
If I look tense or anything like that, just let me know. I'm gonna realize. Give me a shot of vodka or something, tequila, whatever.
Yes, I tell him. I can't drink on the job, so.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I tell him, si se mira la lonja, let me know. I'll sit up straight. I'll hide. I'll do this angle, right? Suck it in.
Yeah.
But luckily, like I told him, I'm not the type of person to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're wrong. I don't care. No, I'm going to say, thank you so much for telling me because I don't see myself.
Yeah.
I don't hear myself. You guys see me. You guys hear me. Sometimes I'll tell them, make sure, especially when we're recording outside, I'll tell them, make sure my hair's good. A veces tienes un pelo para acá, otro para allá. And I'm like, no, I can't come out like that. I'm gonna look like an idiot. People are already making fun of my accent. Imagine they're making fun of my hair, my accent.
Yeah, ¿quién es esta loca aquí, huh?
¿Quién es esta no sabo? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So pretty much, yeah, struggle.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think honestly that's a struggle being a Chicana. Well, I was born here, so they consider me a Chicano. You know, here in this area, there's a lot of Chicanos and Chicanas, and I think what we've learned is that no one really speaks perfect Spanish, but we understand it and we will try to.
Yeah.
And so our community is a lot more understanding here, which I love because you see, the older people, they'll look, and I'm just going to give myself as an example.
Yeah.
They'll look at me talking and they'll be like, oh, she's trying though. Like, I see the effort. And, you know, they pictured their kids in the same situation.
Yeah.
Because they're raising children that were born here. They're raising children who do the same things, right? And then the people my age, like the children, they're like, oh, well, she's like me. We're doing the same thing, right? We're all talking the same way. Like, I vibe with it. I love that it's not perfect. Because when I see someone going outside their shell speaking Spanish, or vice versa, if I see someone who cannot speak English and they're speaking English, I'm like, I don't care. You keep going. I love it. Like, I will understand you and I will motivate you, just because it's crazy how at the end of the day we know 2 languages, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people just know one.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we know 2.
So that's why I like when I talk to people who they say they feel bad talking. If they're Spanish, they talk English, but they say I don't like talking English because I have a hard accent. Mm-hmm. That doesn't matter. They only says that you know 2 languages. Mm-hmm. You know, so you don't worry about that.
No.
You know? But going on that, what I call my son, right? He's 20 years old, right?
20? Oh.
Yeah. So he's actually half, Hispanic and then half Vietnamese.
Ooh.
I was hoping that he was gonna be trilingual.
Yeah.
When me and his mom were together, and he was little, I was teaching him a lot of Spanish.
Yeah.
It's easier. But then when we split up, it was kind of hard to only have him every other weekend.
Yeah.
So that kind of fell through on him learning. But when I took him to El Salvador, he had a great time over there.
That's good.
And he was trying to learn more Spanish, he says.
So he knows English. He knows a little bit of Spanish and
very little.
very little bit.
Yeah.
So does he know more Vietnamese?
I don't think he knows much of Vietnamese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least he knows a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's the good part.
Yeah. So I know, like we talked about, you work with Jackie.
Yeah.
So how is it working with Jackie? You know, she's
her.
When I had her here, she was a really fun girl to talk to with.
Yeah, she is amazing. I absolutely adore Jackie.
Yeah.
We get along very well, but we're always talking, and we think that the funniest part is how we vibe so well, but we're totally different.
Well, you guys got the same type of energy. You know what I mean? It's like, so I go imagine you guys at work having just a great time.
Yes. She was actually talking about doing bingo tonight at Madison's for Halloween, but I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. I got to wake up early tomorrow. Yeah. But she's very sweet, very nice, but she is a little firecracker.
And she has a lot of energy.
Yes, she says she's all for the community. She's always lending a helping hand. She's phenomenal. Yeah. And I think that's why we vibe. I think the only difference between us is that she's more stern and more
like
don't
direct.
direct and don't cross me. If you do, you're going to have what's coming. And I'm more like, okay. Yeah. If that's what you think, if that's what you want to say, I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah. And we'll call it. So how's that? Like, what do you guys like? What does she do again? I forget.
Yes. So right now we are a very small team at Telemundo. We have our market manager, which is Karen. She is great, a wonderful woman, very sweet, very talented. Mm-hmm. We have Jackie, who is part-time sales. So she goes around selling airtime as well as social media packages, et cetera, right? And then we have Edgar, who is our videographer. He's always the one editing our voiceovers, creating our commercials, doing some of our reels, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's me, the part-time talent.
Yeah. still a talent though, part time, but still a talent. You know, because you gotta be out there in the camera. Something that's a lot of pressure right there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm telling you, that first time I was so nervous.
Oh, trust me, if you go back and watch my first video, it was like just 10 minutes with me and my friend Eric. You could tell that I was nervous and stuff like that. So it kind of ended fast. And then he actually suggested to like, well, we should go ahead and look at the camera when we talk to the people. And so we tried it because he suggested. When somebody suggests something, I don't mind trying it just to see how it feels to me. You know what I mean? And then I told him, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna try that again. It didn't feel too
different.
Yeah, it didn't feel too natural. You know what I mean? I'd rather have face-to-face conversation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
of course.
Yeah, every once in a while I look at the camera and stuff like that, but majority of the time just actually talk to the guests.
No, yeah, I definitely get it. Honestly, this is kind of different for me. You know, I have been on a couple of podcasts before, but because I'm so used to being in front of the camera and looking directly at the camera, I keep on wanting to, you know, that smile of, we're here, we're talking. But I know it's a podcast, so we have face-to-face contact because it's kind of like a chill conversation.
Yeah, and it's like all podcasts are different. But sometimes some of them actually do look at the camera, you know what I mean? Or maybe they have different cameras set up too, you know what I mean?
Angles.
So that kind of helps out too, you know, because they will have one there, then another one there, looking at the guests right here. So I don't know if we grow that big. I'll eventually get there. You know what I mean?
No, you definitely will. Most likely will. You're one of the only people right now that I actually know that's, you know, consistent and has been reaching out to people and that you keep going. Yeah. So you will. Yeah.
So guys, check your inboxes on Facebook. I have sent out to people out there. But sometimes, you know, on Facebook, it sends your messages. If you're not friends with them, it sends it to request or whatever. And I know some people don't look at that, you know what I mean? So just check it out, guys.
Yeah, check it out. Support our local talent here.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's doing great.
All right, so another question I was going to ask you is Telemundo, is it like just a part-time or is it full-time? I think you said part-time, but what other things you have going on?
So Telemundo is actually part-time right now. Like I mentioned, I graduated with my bachelor's in advertisement and communications and my master's of business administration and marketing, right? So right after college, I got a clinical research facility marketing position. And I tried it, but I don't know. Something just didn't feel right for me. So
the marketing part or the clinical?
I did the clinical research part.
Okay.
I've never been into, I guess, the medical side of anything.
Yeah, trust me, I would never want to be a doctor because I guess what I call it or a nurse, you know, just because seeing people being very sick or whatever.
Yeah, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, exactly. I think that will happen to me.
Yeah, because we worked with a lot of patients that had Alzheimer's, dementia, and just hearing how they would be and their stories and how they would forget stuff and just seeing how fragile they were. Or hearing how fragile they were, it would break my heart. And yo sí les digo que tengo un corazón de pollo. Like, I could be very emotional sometimes, and I would leave still thinking about some of the patients, and I think that's why it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know? So I ended up leaving there, still working part-time with Telemundo, looking for another job, and somehow, some way, someone reached out to me and said, hey, you want to come and be a teacher? And I thought in my head, are you asking me?
Yeah, a teacher?
The girl with the master's and bachelor's in business? They're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do it. And you're overqualified. You got this. And I said, let me ask you again. You're asking the person without a teaching background to be a teacher? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay, you know me. Something that I'd love to tell you, well, you already kind of know, is that I'm open and down to do anything.
Yeah.
I always love to give something a try. Nunca me gusta dejar como una duda. Like, I don't like to have that in my head.
Regrets and stuff like that?
Not regrets, but like, kind of
you don't feel like something missed out and see what could happen?
Miss out, like, what could have happened? What could I have been? What did I miss out on, right? And so I went to the interview, got the job, and so I am currently a teacher for the CTE program, Principles of Education and Training. So CTE stands for Career and Technical Education. Basically, do you know what the Taylor Career Center is?
No.
No?
Really?
Okay. So you know how normally in high school they will tell you go to a 4-year college,
Yeah.
go get your technical degree, right? But for the longest, I remember when I was in high school, they would say, no, the only way to go is 4 years. 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. Now it's different. They give kids all the options, right? You can go to a 4-year college. You could go to a 2-year college. You could get your welding, your cosmetology license, right? And basically what CTE does is kind of help the students throughout their high school process become a welder, become a pharmacy tech, become a future teacher,
Okay.
become a licensed cosmetologist, right? And so basically during these programs, you have teachers who guide students throughout their 4 years so that when eventually they're done, they can get their certifications easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to struggle. They don't have to feel like they're alone or they have no idea where to start. And so basically, to sum it up, I am teaching kids how to be teachers. So my kids right now are 13 to 14-year-olds. No, 14 to 15-year-olds
Yeah.
because they're freshmen.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty cool because there is actually stuff that you could just learn on the field and stuff, you know, that you could actually use and stuff like that.
Yes. So I'm basically I'm teaching them, one, how to be employable, right? You need to what ways to present yourself when you're going to get a job, the basics,
Yeah.
how to communicate, how to resolve conflicts. That's our first semester, kind of getting them prepared for the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the second semester, that's where I'm going to teach them what can they do with a degree in teaching. You can become a teacher. You can own a daycare. You can become a principal. You can become an AP, right? Most kids think, oh, I can only be a teacher. A math teacher, English teacher, social studies teacher.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And where is it located at? In Beaumont?
Yes, in Beaumont. But I teach out of Westbrook. So my classes are in Westbrook High School.
Okay.
Yes, and it's kind of funny because I went to Central Medical Magnet High School, but I graduated from Beaumont United. I was the first class. Do you know the high schools here?
I know Westbrook and Central and stuff like that, and they always had like big rivalry, right?
Yeah, they did. A huge rivalry. And so Central closed down. That's why they created...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they shut down due to, I forgot, we had like a storm or flooding and something happened with that. I don't know the backstory. But they actually tore it down maybe a couple of months ago. Yeah, and so then that's why when they merged Ozan and Central and created Beaumont United.
Mm-hmm.
So Beaumont United is located over there where Ozan is at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually the first class of United. So I graduated back in 2019. So now we only have 2 high schools here, Westbrook and United.
Yeah. Oh, so you just graduated in 2019, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, it's good that you're so young and you're out there, you know what I mean? You're able to communicate very, very well, you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
And,
I try.
Well, that's what I tell my son, hey, you better learn how to communicate because that's very important. A lot of people are lacking that talent or that skill, let's say.
Yeah, I feel like technology, social media has a lot to do with that. You know,
everybody
more people, more people are on their phones, on their iPads, on their laptops, and they kind of, well, all of us.
Screen sucking.
Yes.
Is what they call it.
Yes, all of us at times we lack that human contact, that human connection. See, right now we're vibing, we're chilling, we're talking. This is how it used to be before everyone had a cell phone.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I remember back in the days when we had beepers and stuff like that. Or pagers. Oh, you didn't? Well, not your. Yeah, I'm that old, you know what I mean?
So, I forget. Yeah, you're right. No, I think my first phone was the little flip phone, the one where you text.
Yeah, okay.
Not the flip. I still want to flip because I would always see people in movies.
From T-Mobile, I want to say, the little flip sidekick or something like that, I think it was.
I don't remember.
I still remember when the internet came out, when the AOL, you got mail.
I remember when my mom first put out our desktop, because I remember our TV was those big box TVs.
Oh, I had one of those, yeah.
Not like the little, well, I had, in my room I had the little princess one. You know which one I'm talking about?
The little princess one?
Yeah, like a little princess TV. It was pink and it had a little bit of purple in there.
Like the Apple computers or something like that?
No, it was a princess, like a Disney Channel TV.
Oh, okay.
It didn't strictly have Disney Channel, but like it looked like princessy.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And in the living room, we had that big stereo, you know, and then that big box TV. But I'm never gonna forget when she started setting up that computer, that desktop, and I'm like, can I touch it? Can I play with it? What can I do? I remember the bakery game. What was it, like Purple Palace or something? I don't remember. I know it starts with a P, but it's like a little bakery and everything. And it's just crazy to think. Now we have cell phones everywhere, and we were kind of the generations to have had basically nothing.
Yeah.
Well, we had something. I'm not gonna lie. So I did have a flip phone. I ended up getting that maybe in.
I want to say we had reality of like connecting with people. You know what I mean? Now like, the new generation are lacking that. You know what I mean?
And I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I'm an iPad kid. You know, after a long day of work and I'm eating a bowl of cereal, I like to put my phone right there and watch my Netflix shows or something.
Yeah, I fall in that trap sometimes, especially when I was living in Birmingham by myself over there. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have the TV on, have the laptop on there, and looking at my phone too. Like, what am I doing? You know?
That's something that I can definitely relate to, because if I am watching a TV show, then I'm scrolling on my phone too, and at the same time I got my laptop over here and I'm over here typing something. I'm working on something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, why do I do this? I'm doing so much.
I can understand if you're doing it to be productive.
Yeah,
you know
probably.
What I mean? Now I'm doing it just to figure out like maybe how copy other people's like content, how they create theirs. Maybe I can try in my content. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. And a lot of my feed that I get in reels are actually like a lot of positive things, so I don't get that much crazy stuff in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's good. No, that's really, really good. Honestly, I try to stay away from social media, but because social media is a big part of my job, I can't really stay away from it.
Like I said, if it's part of your job or you're doing something to like this podcast, I'm gonna constantly have to be on there uploading, stuff, send messages and stuff like that. So you have to be in it. But as long as you're doing it to be productive, I don't think that's a problem. It's when you're doing it just to kill time.
Yeah, no, definitely. And honestly, if you ask anyone who knows me, they'll tell you, Emily can't stay still. I don't know why Emily can't just sit down on a Saturday night and watch TV and not eat ice cream. You know, I have some of my friends who say, I stress for you. Yeah. I look at you and I hear what you say you have to do and what you're doing, and I'm stressed for days. How do you manage? And in my head, I'm thinking, how do I not manage? I mean, this is normal. Yeah. This is what I normally do every day.
Well, that's why I told you. I think I started this podcast because I had too much time in my hands. But then also I have little projects going on around the house. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm trying to build a fence for my dogs and what I call it. So since I barely got those puppies, you know what I mean? So I want to build those fence for them. Got that going on. Then I just have other setups that I need to get my car to Extreme Auto because my boy Lewis said he's going to detail it with GT4. So, you know what I mean? I'm waiting on that. So I have other little project things I want to go on mine, but I figure let's try this podcast thing and see what happens. You know what I mean? So far it's been going pretty good. I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? And I tell people, well, they think, oh, you're gonna make a lot of money, and they're like, well, if you're doing podcasting to make money, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, you're in the wrong field. You have the wrong reason at heart, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And my goal is like maybe put myself out there, help the community out, get the community and the guests to know each other, or get the community to know the guests, depending if they want their service and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And who knows, maybe I might try to do some other thing as well too. I was trying to see if I could get some girls here maybe to do some type of dating relationship things.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I think that'd be interesting.
I was thinking about calling it Spicy Fridays.
Oh, Spicy Fridays. Y'all hear, lady? This could be one of our guests.
Well, definitely not going to be a guest. I might need another co-host, male, and then two other girls, you know what I mean? And then we could see what happens.
Nope.
We'll see if there's a demand for it, pretty much, you know what I mean?
You might end up with a lifelong partner. You never know. That's why I'm like, you won't be the guest.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe because I am sometimes a little bit picky, you know. I am older and stuff like that, so you know.
Okay, so you're picky. I think everyone is, honestly. Everyone got their different tastes.
especially once I guess you get older and stuff like that, you don't want to like kind of just waste time just to waste time. You know what I mean? Just okay.
I think I've been that way since a very young age, honestly. I've always had my goals in mind ever since, well, since in elementary school, I knew that I wanted to go to college, you know? You have your parents who come over here to this country, they don't have the opportunity to study, and it's kind of not all you hear, but you see it, you feel it, and you hear it, and it's kind of like you have that one goal in mind. I'm going to go to college. I don't know what it's going to be for. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what I was going to study. I have no idea what I'm doing with life. I have no idea what I want to be.
At least you knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you actually went and you completed it. You know,
Yeah.
that's good because when I went to college, I didn't go back to school until I was maybe 27, 28. And I went back for computer drafting because that's what I wanted to do back when I was in high school. So I got that degree. It was just associates from LIT. But then from there, once I got that, I wanted to further into my education. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer because I wanted to understand how things worked. You know what I mean? I was just always curious about that.
I've never been curious about that.
Yeah. And plus I probably still am good, but when I was younger, I was always good in math. You know what I mean?
No, not me.
I love math. English is my worst subject. I always failed.
I've always passed English. Well, I've passed everything. I was that kid that always got all A's or A's and B's, you know? And I didn't know that there was like the option to not get A's and B, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because in my head, I'm always like, I got to do the best. If I'm not passing, I'm going to ask the teacher for more work. If I'm not understanding, I'm going to stay behind. I'm going to do the extra time. Just because was, you know, I'm going to speak on my own.
You're somewhat taught like that to think I think any race pretty much that you have to be A's and B's only, and that's just to be successful and stuff like that. But you ever heard of that phrase or wording that A's and B students work for C students?
I did, because the C students are always the ones who end up being more, I don't want to say street smart, but the ones that are more outgoing, más atrevidos. Normally the A's and B's are bookworms, always just reading and studying to memorize things.
They want to be safe.
Yes, safe. And the C's are the ones that are like,
let's
what
try
we got
this.
to lose?
Yeah.
We can't lose nothing. And so, yeah, I always used to get the A's and B's, but at the same time, I'm telling you, extracurriculars. Even though I sucked at sports, I still ran cross country. I still played soccer.
At least you were active. You know, that's good.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, man, trust me, I was a lazy person, man.
Really?
Really was. That's why I made sure that my son that he was into sports. You know what I mean? Because I missed out on that.
Yeah,
so
it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and so I didn't want him to miss that. Something I regretted. You know what I mean?
And so, but you see how as a parent, you kind of tell your kids, go for it. You know, I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't get to try it out, but I want you to try it out.
Even though if you don't like that sport, as you could say, at least you tried it.
Yeah. At least you tried it, and now you know, it's not for me.
Yeah.
No, because I'm telling you, my soccer team, we hardly ever won. But it was such a beautiful experience because we all had a strong bond. You know, those late nights on traveling on the buses, eating Cece's pizza all sweaty, bruised up after being pushed around by tall people.
At the end, it's all about experience, you know?
Yes, it definitely is. And so like I was saying, I did sports. I was always in extracurriculars like National Honor Society, JAG, Jobs for America's Graduates, Hispanic Society. It was just so much. I can't even say it all because it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
And so now thinking back to it, I think I've always been a busy bee because I was doing all this in high school, you know, going to school, going to do my extracurricular activities. And at some point, I think the end of my junior year, middle of my junior year, I got a job.
Yeah. You were just quiet. You were always busy, but you were just the quiet one. Yeah.
Yes. And so I was working at Forever 21 at that time when I was in high school. I was a manager there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And thinking about it, it's kind of crazy how I'd get up, I'd do my makeup because, you know, in high school you had your little mascara, your little...
The next question I was going to ask you is, where do you see see yourself in 5 years?
I honestly have no idea where I see myself in 5 years. Honestly speaking, ever since I can remember back in high school when teachers would give us our SMART goals and our 5 year plans and our 10-year plans, I would be so frustrated because I had no idea.
Yeah.
All I knew is that I'm very hardworking. So wherever I am, I will be adaptable. I will, have a good attitude, and I would be hardworking. Because that's basically all you have to do. You never know what opportunities would come across you. You never know what you're going to do.
Especially when you're young and stuff like that,
Yes.
so it's like, I don't know why the adults try to tell the kids, "Oh, what's your 5 year plan, 10 year
Yeah.
plan?" I'm just like, "Oh no, we're gonna ride this out and see what's gonna
Yeah.
happen, where I fall in, and then from there maybe I'll make a 5-10 year plan."
Yeah, no, definitely. Because if you would have told me in high school that I would have traveled everywhere that I've traveled, I would have said, "You're lying."
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't have that type of income. I don't know how that'd be possible. And thinking about my trip to Spain, when I was out there, I remember vividly, standing in the middle of the city, being able to see the castles, being able to see the beach, and being able, of course, to see all of the people walking around the city. In that moment, I kept thinking to myself, how did I even get here? I'm so blessed because not once did I ever think in my life this would be possible for me. And so, back to the question, basically to sum it up, it's okay not to know. If someone who is listening to this is frustrated and angry with themselves because they don't have a clue about what they're going to do in the future, it's totally okay.
Yeah.
Just don't have a bad attitude about it.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep smiling, keep networking, keep meeting new people. Like, half the people I know today, I'm like, hello. It's crazy how a simple hello led me to all of these wonderful experiences that I've had with them.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like to tell people too. You need to get used to being uncomfortable. That's why I started this podcast. Like I said, I was getting too comfortable,
Yes.
so I was like, okay, there's something going on here. I don't like it.
Yes.
I already know how I am. I'm probably gonna self-destruct somehow. So let me get myself really busy.
Yeah. That's the best thing I've heard tonight, because that is something you should live by. Whenever you're comfortable, that's a sign of you may be doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You're stuck now.
Yeah, and I think that's where people get like very anxious or depressed or whatever because you feel like you're stuck somewhere and you're not trying to get out of it. You know what I mean?
I don't know that deep into it, but from personal experience, I know that whenever I'm not doing as much as I could be doing, I start to get kind of como agitada. I'm like, dang, why am I not doing more? Right? And even though it's scary, like, let's go back to Telemundo, or let's go back to Spain. Whenever I started finding out more information about Spain, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know why I'm listening. I'm never going to go. I don't have the money. No one's going to want to sponsor me. It's just pointless for me to be here, right? And so even though I was thinking that in my head, of course, when people would come up to me and be like, hi, my name is Emily. It's so nice to meet you. Tell me what you do. Tell me about the scholarship, or tell me about this opportunity, right? And so that's what led to me getting basically all of my funds to go. I remember Mary Alice, Miss Haas. She doesn't like to be called Miss Haas. She likes to be called Mary Alice. Miss Mary Alice, whenever she met me, because originally I was supposed to go to Spain my freshman year of college, but because the pandemic happened, my scholarships got taken away and the trip was canceled. And so that day I cried and I cried and I cried. I was so emotional. My mom was like, what happened? And, in that moment, to me, it was something so big because I had finally caught a break. I was finally going to be on a plane. I was finally going to see Spain. I was finally going to study. And then, boom. No. We don't know if it's ever going to start again. We don't know if it's going to happen during your time here at Lamar. We don't know nothing. And so fast forward to when I went, which was my junior year, I believe. Junior year or first semester of senior year. That's when I Miss Mary Alice. And so I go in and I tell her, I'm like, I don't even know if I can go anymore. I lost my scholarships. This is not for me. And she's looking at me like, Emily, breathe. You're fine. let's figure it out. And I was like, you're right. I started talking with the honors college. I said, hey, you gave me the scholarship a year ago. Can I reapply? Do I have to reapply, or will I just be given the money? Started talking with the College of Business. Hey, with the financial aid office. I started to do what I've always done since a little girl. Just find a way out, or find a way to get what you need. And luckily I ended up, getting all the scholarships again. And that's kind of crazy. That's what if anyone's listening to me, just always remember to push yourself out there. Remember that the worst thing you can hear is a no. And yes, it may be a little embarrassing sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you gotta get used to getting no's. You know what I mean? You're gonna get a lot of no's, and you should get used to that.
Yeah, but when you get those yeses, those are the ones who count. Because half the people I've met, I'm like, oh my God, you're really cool. You're very successful, and we can have a chill conversation. It's not like I'm over here scared to say anything. It's the fact that I said hello, or you said hello, and we kept the bond going, right?
Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal concept.
Yeah, and I had a couple of guests, and most of my friends, guys, you know what I mean, and which they were very shy because they weren't used to being on the camera, you know what I mean. So you could tell when they they were very like nervous and kind of timid. So it's more I do this, like I kind of could see who actually has the more like I won't say not skills, but I guess the comfortability of being in front of the camera and talking to people all the time.
Yeah, what would you rate me?
Very good. I would say probably like 9.8, something like that. It's pretty high out there, you know what I mean? Yeah, be very animated, you know what I mean? Your hands all over the place and stuff like that.
Oh,
sometimes I have my hands like this, because when I was leaning a lot, so I think that's why I kind of want to lean back, because I'll get more comfortable and relaxed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've always been a talker with my hands. See, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, and some people are, you know what I mean? Me, I think I got to force myself, you know what I mean?
Really?
I think so, yeah.
No.
Or probably just need to get comfortable doing that. I think that's all that is.
Because if I have my hands down here, then I feel that I'm forcing myself to have my hands down here.
Oh, okay.
Because right now I would have already been like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like ta-da.
Like,
Yeah. So, any last words for the audience?
No, just always don't get comfortable. Always say yes to new adventures, even if you feel like you're gonna look like an idiot or sound like an idiot. Eventually, you'll find that comfort, and you'll grow, and you'll do something else, and things happen for a reason. So if something doesn't happen or something doesn't go your way, don't be sad about it. Of course, cry or like have your moments, but it happened for a reason. It's time for you to see what that reason is. You can't life isn't just one easy pathway, right? As corny as it sounds, you have your ups, you have your downs, you have your moments where you just fall asleep on the ground because you're so tired, or you're face down crying because you can't no more. But you just got to keep pushing yourself. You got to keep going. Life is so short. Time is so limited. We're only here for a little amount of time if you actually think about it. And
nowadays, average human like 78 years, I don't want to say. It just depends if you're a male, female, whatever. Yeah,
and if you don't want to grow old saying, I could have done this.
Yeah.
I could have done that. Like, honestly, back to high school, I was on homecoming court. Never did I think I was going to campaign for homecoming court or student council. And I did. And I had all my friends who supported me, que me apoyaron, and I'm still very grateful for all the friendships I made and have till this day. But it's kind of thinking because, there wasn't many Hispanic people who ran for student council or for homecoming or for anything really. And it's just the fact that I did it. That's a beautiful experience I had with my family and my friends. And fast forward, my sister ended up running for homecoming court and she won queen.
Oh, nice.
Right? I was a princess and she won queen, and now we're like forcing my brother out of his shell and like, run for king, run for it, you got it.
You better get it.
Yeah, my mom is just like, my mom is always thinking, I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure that my mom is always thinking, I know. These kids are crazy, because That's something about all of us. You know, we're very respectful, very honest, very hardworking. Pero, well, me and my sister at least, somos bien, how do you say it? Like, we're up to the plate. You tell us something, we may not know how to do it, but we'll figure it out. You need help with something that we absolutely have no idea how to do, we'll go and like give you a flashlight or something, like help you, you know? And yeah, that's basically it. Always try something new. Don't get comfortable. Keep going. Life is short. Time is limited.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. I want to say, make sure you aim high.
Yes.
Never aim too low, because then you might hit, and then you're gonna think about it like, man, I should have went higher.
That one's good. I didn't think about that one. Something else I was gonna say is, we all know that we're our own biggest critic. I know for a fact that I'm my biggest critic. Everyone could say, you're doing well, you're doing great, you've done so much for 23, right? Because I turned 23 last March, and everyone's telling me, you're fine, why are you stressing? I'm like, I'm stressing because I'm not doing enough. I'm stressing because I'm not where I should be. I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but I feel like I should be doing more, right?
Well, I feel like I'm stressing now, because I feel like I'm not doing that much compared to you.
No, you're doing a lot. You're doing great. I mean, look at this podcast. This is amazing. I don't even know how to. I wouldn't have known how to set this up, right?
Yeah, and
it's the fact you stepped out of your comfort zone.
When I told everybody that they like to set up and stuff like that, and I tell them the way it started, because this room actually had no ceiling, half the drywall was missing around. Wasn't sure what I was gonna do with it, so I just kind of started fixing it up slowly but surely, and then I said, you know what? Let me try this podcast thing. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? I need to get out of my comfort zone.
And look at you now. What, it's been a year too?
I've been a year, and I was just doing little bits, you know what I mean? But like literally the last 6-7 weeks, I want to say, I probably have done like 13-14 podcasts so far, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So almost sometimes 2 weeks sometimes now, you know what I mean?
And that's crazy, because you still have a full-time job, right? This is just like a hobby for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's the fact that you said, I'm getting comfortable. Let me do something. Yeah. And you did something that you had no clue how to do. Like, no idea.
I'm doing everything by myself, you know. I'm the production. I'm the videographer. I'm the editor, the speaker, the host. You know what I mean? I'm everything. So it takes a lot of time, you know what I mean? But it keeps me busy.
That's so good. And then something else is that you're leaving your footprint behind, because you know everything on social media stays on social media. Yeah. So I think that this is wonderful. You got a great thing going on.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And like I said, hopefully we'll get to do this again. Hopefully we'll get the Telemundo team together and come do it, you know?
Oh, that would be funny. That'd be a great show.
See what kind of stories you guys have.
Oh, we have a lot.
All right, then. Well, I appreciate you coming today.
No, thank you for having me. I had such a great time, and hopefully you learned a little bit about me.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sure we're going to cross paths again.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. All right, guys. If you guys can, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And peace out. All right.
Bye.